at work, let's first of all remind you that you can be your own employer and your own employee when it comes to making money. *292# is the USSD code that you need to use to kickstart off your investment with Zabu. Zabu says, my money, my future. It is a platform by Alltech East Africa which gives you the advantage and a platform that is dedicated to making it very easier for you to invest. Investing in securities or buying government bonds. You can select a preferred maturity period for your government bonds that you believe would make some good money for you in the long run, whether 2 to 3 years or 4 to 5 years. The minimum amount of money that you definitely need to use while investing is 15,000 Ugandan shillings. And for those who don't have the account with the Zabu platform yet, all you need to do is register with your national identification number, and in the next 24 hours, you'll be able to invest and grow your investments. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. They're only fully closed on days like this. Those are public holidays and during the weekends. Zabu, my money, my future. And I'm back with Mr. Dan Okanya from the Federation of Uganda Employers. Now, when you look at this, Daniel, employers and employees in the country, I haven't traveled a lot to give my verdict on other countries and everything. But when you look at some of the examples that we get, is that one of the weaknesses of company productivity is actually highlighted to be company politics, whereby an employee seems to be closely related to the employer. So it's like I am close to my boss. Either it's my boss is the person who brought me to the company himself, or either way, I may be a son to the boss, or I may be we've got these cases whereby the boss, who is male, has maybe, let's say, a girlfriend at work. So he brings the girlfriend to work. Now, in that same environment, you may find out that this employee, according to the hierarchy or the rankings in the company, is supposed to report to various 5 people before reaching to the main boss. But because she is close to the main person, she goes directly. Now, this is undermining the productivity, or let's say, the kind of working environment. What brings us to this kind of situation, and how can we work to stop this?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think you're bringing out a very pertinent issue.
Yes.
I would agree with you. It happens. It happens out there in the field. But then the issue is it's not a crime for me to employ a relative.
Yeah, very true.
So long as he meets and it's on merit.
Yes, it's
the issue is that as the person being exposed to the clear processes, recruitment processes, and meets and qualifies,
yes,
that the person emerges as the best maybe candidate for that particular position, then there is no problem. Now, what you're bringing is very sensitive, and indeed, in one or the other, frustrates and lowers the levels of productivity, especially among the other employees.
Yes.
It may not be having a good rapport with the top boss.
Yeah.
Now, that's when the aspect of corporate governance come in. At the workplace, if you have policies set in place and you know the reporting structures are fully operationalized, you know who does what. For instance, if I'm a head of department, before my boss assigns the junior or the person I supervise, am I aware that this person that I'm aware today, so and so will be doing this activity beyond what the targets this person has set.
Okay.
At a workplace, every year, I really believe, and if any employer doesn't do, should to set a work plan. And in a work plan, each department sets its targets. And each target set in a department, the head of department is the owns it, takes charge in terms of achieving.
Yes.
Then this head of department distribute the portions across the staff which are in the department, and then that's the supervision to ensure that the target is achieved at the end of the year. Now, if such situations happen, it means an opportunity. In one way or the other, compromise the achieving of the target and also the aspect of corporate governance. I hear you that if someone, like I want to give an example, if you are a person working under my supervision and you go direct to my boss and you said, there's this and there's this without my knowledge, I think that I wouldn't feel good depending on how the boss handles it. It can lower my productivity. I can look at it like maybe you have overshadowed me. You've underlooked my position. Maybe I'm below. And then you'll start fighting instead of concentrating on the work.
Because now you want to prove you're above this person.
Exactly.
And also this person wants to show you that they are above you.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I may just decide to sideline you.
True.
And you work with those ones who can follow what I need. So when I sideline you, it means your productivity will not be fed. You will not achieve anything because you will not be assigned. You will not be. I will not even support you in an area. And even at the end of the day, when I'm evaluating you, I will evaluate you based on what you have worked.
True.
Based on the targets we set.
Or at times you may evaluate them basing on how you feel at the moment, not because you've had wrangles and you're like, anyway, let me just give this person wrong so, results or whatever.
Yeah, so it's a bad practice. But then it also brings in the aspect of professionalism.
Okay.
You as an employee, if you are a professional, do you follow the structure, the policies at the workplace? If you're a professional enough, then exhibit your level of professionalism, regardless of whether the top boss is your relative or is your friend. But then when it comes to work, that relationship should be put aside and then we concentrate on work. Now, it has also been something which I think also led to attitude and mindset, where we need to put in what we call soft skills. You know, for someone to be productive, it's not necessarily, I know we'll be getting to that later, it's not necessarily your certificate.
Yes.
But the soft skills attributes a lot. For instance, how do you relate with me, who is your immediate supervisor? It's a soft skill that you need to understand. You apply professionalism, you recognize the structures you set in the place, you know there is this, these are the policies, I report to so and so supervise me and assigns me what to do. It's not bad that some other person cannot assign you, but if you've been assigned, can you let me know that, you know what, I've been asked to do this on top of what I'm supposed to do today, and I can say, okay, if you have, you know you can manage it, no problem, you can go on. It means you really respect your report and you inform me on whatever you're going to do. Okay. I don't necessarily need to keep calling you. I don't necessarily need to follow up with everything. But how do you recognize what you're supposed to do and ensure you report me, you make me aware, you let me know, other than just seeing you disappearing for a week only to realize you were sent for a certain workshop somewhere, which I wasn't aware of.
Yet you're the supervisor.
Now, at the end of the day, when you come back, I say, okay, this is good, but you have not achieved what you're supposed to achieve this week based on the targets set.
Yes,
and therefore, how do you catch up with that? I need your report on ABCD. Now, that will create in one or the other an environment which may not be conducive for all of us to work and to be able to deliver what we expected to deliver. So it also comes with that aspect of soft skill, that how do I relate, how do I report, how do I handle this, even how do I communicate. If I'm communicating to my supervisor, for instance, how do I communicate? How do I approach things at my workplace? So it is beyond the degree you could have acquired, the skill you could have, but soft skill is also a special skill which can support you to deliver and to exercise your level of professionalism very adequately.
Let's look at the recruitment now. Process in the country here. Lucky enough, I should say, or fortunate enough, is that we no longer recruit according to qualifications, because by the look of things, most of the employers go to realize that at times people's qualifications may not necessarily relate to what they are going to offer you.
Yeah.
So you either hire both of them because they've qualified maybe in that, but not because of the marks and grading, but because of what they're going to offer. By the look of things, what do you think is better in terms of recruitment? Because I think why we have this conflict, it also takes us back to the recruitment. How does someone get into the company? Or how does someone get employed into that workspace?
Yeah.
Is it on merit? Is it because they are related? Or like you mentioned, do they have a good rapport with the boss or the CEO? Or is it because of their good grades that, well, this person studied from Makerere University, from this university, and they have these grades, first class, upper, whatever you can have it, or they've graduated out of the country, so they are good and qualified for that. Let's look at the recruitment process. Do you think they in one way or the other undermine one's productivity, or also undermine the relationship between workers and employees at the workspace?
Well, if not handled, well,
okay,
it can undermine. And this is what I can say. Like recruitment, when you're recruiting, what do you first of all need to know? A vacancy.
Okay.
Which position is now vacant? And which person am I looking at? Who is this person I want to fill in this gap at my company? Now, if I find that I have these 3 positions vacant, how do I get someone recruited? Of course, you do their job descriptions and all that. You advertise. You advertise, because this I'm looking at it recruiting from a merit point of view. So when I advertise, I'm able to receive applications, and the team, HR team, will receive the applications, which one fit, and will do the shortlisting. Now, when they shortlist, by the time they shortlist, they know all these ones qualify for this position. But I may need only one person out of those for one position. So I need one person to fill in this gap. Now I have 10 or 15 people who have been shortlisted. I can go ahead to say, okay, maybe I wouldn't be able to advertise all. I mean to shortlist all for the interview. Maybe let me try again to look through the experiences and the rest who has worked where, and then maybe I have around 8 shortlisted and called for the interview. Now when they come, they are able to exhibit what they have, because qualifying is one thing, but also then being able to execute, to show, to prove that you have this degree, you can really practice it, you have this experience, you can fit the position is also another thing. Now, if these people have been exposed to the interview and the panelists come up, they usually come up with the best 3 or 2, then the management is able to sit and take a decision that we take this. So the entire thing, the entire process has been exposed to people who fit and who knows whatever they are doing professionally, and have come up with a recommendation of 3 or 2 people who really best suit the position. But you need one. Now the management has to discuss and say, okay, I think let's take so and so.
I know.
Now when they take that person, that's on merit. I've not gone through which, regardless whether the person is my friend or has a rapport, person has qualified on merit. And this person is expected to deliver on the roles and the duties expected of him or her in that position. And of course will be oriented and integrated into the system, given whatever is required to be able to perform. And from there, we'll keep monitoring. Now, when that person gets there, can get there on merit, and that's where the aspect of soft skill is critical, which I was talking about. Can get there on merit, but then because he's now in the system, and the mindset tells him the other person is not, and does not, is my relative who have good rapport, can hijack the structure, the processes. That's when you can even have some of these issues which you were asking and you were talking about. But that doesn't mean it has not gone through the due process required. Of course, there may be some incidences, because this is what is recommended when you are doing the recruitment process and engaging someone. But there are processes maybe where someone is just picked and put into the system. Maybe such scenario could be also there. you never know, and the person has not gone through the process. Maybe that will again give a lot of doubt because the person was not exposed to competition and to be able to pick from the, to know whether he's the best person or not. But all in all, those are the process. But then you ask a point of certificate, is that what you look for, a skill or what?
Skill.
I think, generally speaking, nowadays we don't, actually one of the challenge we have encountered as employers that we have a lot of skills shortages and gaps in other areas where even someone who qualified as a graduate in certain university and is exposed to the labor market may not really know what to do.
Yeah.
Because he has been trained from theoretical point of view. Now when you come to practical, he can't or she can't deliver to the expectation of the employer. And that's why the aspect of experience, what have you done, and all these processes is critical. We expose them to be able to get. But there are also situations where we have people who have acquired skills through lifelong learning processes. I never studied as a mechanic, engineer, but I learned how to repair through my friend Paul or whoever. And I can repair an engine. But I have no certificate to show that.
But you're good at it.
I'm good at it. So
Mr. Okana, lastly here, employers, rather on the employees' side, you see, as we're looking at safety and health at work spaces, well, when you talk about safety and health, it also rotates around the health, besides a healthy environment, besides a health working environment, but it also goes back to the health, like natural health of someone, because when you look at COVID-19, the reason that's why some people actually laid off was because of maintaining standard operating procedures. Yeah. And there are some jobs that really need someone's health to be top notch, and actually it's when they actually also ask for a letter from a doctor or a hospital before they even recruit you. They need to know how your health is, your current health standard or whatever may be. But how do we, as employers or even employees themselves, how do we, relate to people's health complications and everything at the workspaces? Because we have people who have unbearable health conditions, but they're very efficient. And you can't let them go, but you really need to create an environment that will, that will be safer for them. The issue of safety comes in there.
I think that has been, many employers are practicing it. Like you said, we get to know how your health status is. And if we find that your health status is, I'll just give, for instance, if I'm HIV positive,
Yes.
doesn't mean I cannot deliver.
I know.
Well, that's just my health status. I'm HIV positive. But how do I safeguard this person from maybe spreading it, but without necessarily discriminating him or her? Because I cannot discriminate you based on that ground. Yeah. But there are also situations where someone feels not well. You're given a sick leave. It is it's a right, and provided for even the labor laws. So you're given a sick leave to go on and receive the treatment and do all that, whichever. But we also have most of the employers, and we do encourage to get to cover their employees, the medical health insurance schemes in place. They can have, and they can, when they fall sick, they can be treated. Okay. These are all benefits to enable them. Actually, the labor laws provide for a number of these benefits and entitlement. Workman's compensation, for instance, if I've fallen sick, if I've got an accident, if I was operating a machine and then he chopped my finger, the labor laws provide for it. The Workman's Compensation Act provide for all these provisions. So you can have a sick leave in case you have just fallen sick, and we don't consider other status as like the example I gave as something which is a health issue.
Yes.
But we have safety measures at the workplace, and that's what we're talking about, a healthy working environment. Those safety measures are always provided. You saw even during COVID-19, there were safety measures put across all the workplaces to ensure put on mask, the social distancing and all that, to ensure that even if in case someone has, cannot spread it to the other. So protecting others against a certain complication, maybe someone could have fallen a culprit, is very critical.
All right. Now, in your final remarks, a minute, please. What are some of the key things that employees should do to create, to promote culture and ethics at work?
Yeah, culture and ethics is about professionalism. It's not all about employees only, but also the employers, to ensure they instigate such policies, including training the employees on how best they can handle certain things, but also having peer-to-peer, creating an environment where everyone can learn. We have always been doing a number of this training to ensure the staff cohesion at workplace, that we really feel a family. We a family, work as a team. Teamwork is very critical. In a situation where you have this teamwork, trust me, we have seen people who excel and their productivity levels go higher. They even learn from others very well, much better than even when they were working in isolation. So we believe in teamwork. And this is what every employer should be encouraging. Teamwork and training, capacity building, train your staff. Though at times when we do training, we build their capacity, and then at times they are taken away by others, they are hunted. But this shouldn't stop us, because at the end of the day, you will get more benefits out of it. And this is what FUE has done, has been doing, providing such trainings to our members to ensure their staff capacity is built, to ensure they understand the structures and all that.
All right. Many thanks for being part of this conversation this morning.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for your time. So that is Mr. Daniel Okanya, Head of Policy and Research at the Federation of Uganda Employers. As we are looking, we were definitely having conversations rotating around the working environment and how best we can clearly create a better working environment for the employer, for the employees, and also creating a better relation, professional relation between the employer and the employees. And just a quick one, the Labour's Day 2023 is having a theme, that is the selected theme for the Labour Day 2023 is rotating around promoting positive work, culture and ethics, a perspective for increased investment, employment opportunities and household incomes. The celebrations for the Labour Day in Uganda are slated to be held in Namutumba district, that is in Busoga region, eastern Uganda, and obviously Uganda joining the rest of the world to commemorate the International Labour Day 2023. Now, as we are signing out, we are definitely going to be heading over to Anthony Sebale, who is going to be taking you through financial markets this morning. It's a happy new month from us, Smart Means Business, and obviously a day when we celebrate International Labour Day. As we cross over now to Anthony Sebale to take you through what he has in regards to financial markets. Good morning, Anthony.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing, Joram? It's a very wonderful day, Labour Day. Today the markets are closed, unfortunately, but definitely we have to be here, of course, to analyze the weekend. You know, our week ends on Friday in the markets. And looking up to especially the Treasury bond market, there are some worries here in Uganda. The government of Uganda is cutting back on domestic borrowing from at least 5 trillion in the fiscal year 2022 to now at least over 1.5 trillion. Now that's a very huge decline. And I'm going to be analyzing some of the things that are at stake right now, especially for those that have been really investing in the local domestic market. That is as far as Treasury bonds are concerned.
All right. And of course, we shall leave you with Anthony Sebale. After the break, he will be getting back to giving you more of that and more. So keep it Smart24 TV. Good morning.